The sky above Veltronia was dark. Purple clouds moved slowly, and cold rain fell over the city of glass towers. The streets were empty. No one wanted to be outside on a stormy night like this, except one. A young alien woman walked alone on the street. She was tall with blue skin and silver eyes. Her name was Alira. She had no coat, no shoes, and no money. Her clothes were thin and wet from the rain. Her arms were shaking. Her face showed pain but no tears. She had already cried too much. Behind her, a large gate closed with a loud sound. A voice from inside shouted, "You are no longer welcome here. You are a danger to this house." That house was her own family's home. Alira turned one last time. Through the window, she saw her sister and aunt standing in silence. No one looked sad. No one said goodbye. She was now an outcast. Veltronia was a planet ruled by high technology and old traditions. It was a cold place outside and inside the heart. People only cared about power, bloodlines, and honor. Alira was different. Born with strange energy in her blood, she had always been treated like a problem. Her family believed she was cursed, dangerous, wrong. But Alira never wanted to hurt anyone. She only wanted to belong. Now she had no home. She walked past glowing signs and sleeping bots. Her bare feet touched metal roads. Her stomach growled, but she had no food. She sat under a broken light and hugged her knees. The rain didn't stop. Above her, across the clouds, something was coming. In the orbit of Veltronia, a small human spaceship floated silently. Inside, Captain Jack Carter looked at his screen. He was a tall man with rough hands, an old jacket, and eyes that had seen too many wars. He was a peacekeeper now working for Earth Alliance. His job was simple: check the planets, report any danger, and leave. But this time, something felt different. His scanner beeped. Unknown life form detected. Weak signal, alone, near Sector 9. Jack raised his eyebrow. A life form, out here? He whispered. What the hell is a single person doing in the open during Veltronian storm? Ours? He pressed a button. Prepare landing gear, he said. Back on the ground, Alira was still sitting in the rain. Her hands were blue with cold. Her vision was blurry. She felt weak. Her mind began to drift. She remembered her mother's face years ago, before she died. Her mother had called her a gift from the stars. But the rest of the world never believed it. Suddenly, a strange light appeared in the sky. A small ship broke through the clouds. Wind rushed through the alley as the ship landed nearby. Alira tried to stand but fell. The door of the ship opened. A man stepped out, human, tall, with a strange metal device on his arm. He looked around, then saw her. She was too weak to move. He walked carefully toward her. His boots splashed in the rainwater. As he reached her, Alira tried to speak. Only a whisper came out. Please. Jack knelt beside her. He saw the fear in her eyes, but also something else: strength, hope, a fight still burning inside her. You don't look like trouble, he said gently. She didn't understand his words, but his voice felt calm. Kind. He wrapped a warm blanket around her and lifted her into his arms. You're safe now, he said. As they entered the ship, the door closed behind them, but from the shadows of a nearby rooftop, a small flying drone watched everything. Its red eye blinked. Far away, in a dark control room, someone watched the feed. She has awakened, the voice said, and now, a human is involved. The screen turned black. Darkness. Eli Rio opened her eyes slowly. The world around her was not the street. It was quiet, warm, and glowing with soft blue lights. She was inside a ship. Her head rested on a pillow. A warm blanket covered her. For a moment, she forgot the cold. She forgot the rain. She forgot the pain. Then the memories returned, thrown out, alone, the storm, the man. She sat up quickly, afraid. Her hands lit up with small sparks of blue energy. Her body reacted to fear, the same reason her family had hated her. Then a voice spoke. "Easy, you're safe now," Illyra turned. The human was standing near the door, Jack Carter. He had a cup of something hot in his hand and a calm look. On his face, "I made tea." "Don't worry, no poison," he smiled. Illyra didn't understand his words, but his voice didn't feel dangerous. Still, her eyes stayed sharp, her body ready to run. Jack raised one hand slowly. No weapons, no tricks, just tea. He placed the cup on a table and backed away. Illyra looked at the cup. Her hand still shook as she picked it up. She took a small sip. It was sweet, warm. Her eyes softened. Jack sat down across the room and sighed. "I'm Jack, human, Earth. I was just doing a scan." "Then your signal showed up." Illyra looked at him. She pointed to herself. "Illyra, Illyra," he repeated. "Nice to meet you. Rough night?" She nodded slowly. They sat in silence. Just two beings from different worlds, yet somehow at peace. Later, Jack typed into his ship's log. Day 42, Veltronia. Found unknown. Female alien. Alone. Cold. Possibly injured. Signs of energy emission from her hands. No ID, no tech, but not a threat. He paused. She looked lost and tired, like she had been carrying something heavy her whole life. He stopped the recording. Then, suddenly, the ship lights flickered. The engine hummed louder than usual. Jack stood up, confused. "What?" He muttered. He checked the power core. Everything was normal. But then he saw something strange. The screen showed a pulsing light. Coming from the room where Illyra slept. Illyra lay on the bed. Her hand touched the metal wall. Where her fingers rested, the wall glowed. Symbols appeared. Symbols Jack's ship. Couldn't read. Ancient. Alien. Illyra's eyes were closed, but her lips moved like she was whispering in another language. The ship's AI voice activated. Warning. Unknown code detected. Ship systems reacting to external energy. Jack rushed into the room. "What's going on?" He saw Illyra glowing. Soft light moved around her fingers. "Hey, wake up." Illyra's eyes opened wide. The glow stopped. She looked afraid. I didn't mean to. I didn't do anything." Jack stared at the wall. The symbols vanished. The power returned to normal. He didn't yell. He didn't threaten her. He just said, "You're more than what they said you were, aren't you?" She didn't answer. She didn't have to. Later that night, Jack showed her pictures of Earth on his datapad. Oceans, trees, children playing, dogs barking. Illyra smiled for the first time. "Your world looks free," Jack nodded. "Sometimes. But freedom costs something." He looked at her. "What did your family say you were?" Illyra hesitated. Then she pointed to her heart. Inside, different. "Different doesn't mean bad," Jack said. He didn't know it yet, but the words hit deep. For the first time in years, Illyra didn't feel like a curse. She felt seen. But outside the ship, far in the clouds above Veltronia, a satellite moved into position. Inside a secret Veltronian base, a voice echoed. "Target located. The girl has been activated. Alert the hunters. The human must not leave the planet alive." Space is silent, but silence does not mean peace. Above the planet Veltronia, in the dark curve of space, Jack Carter's ship floated in orbit. The stars around it blinked like quiet warnings. Inside, something was changing. The screen on Jack's ship glowed red. Power levels unstable. Unknown energy detected. Internal systems reformatting. Jack slammed the control panel. "What the hell is happening?" The ship's AI replied in a calm, cold voice. "Unknown signal source. Passenger." Jack looked toward the back room where Illyra was asleep. Again. She had been sleeping for 12 hours. But this was not normal sleep. She was glowing. Tiny blue lines moved under her skin like veins of light. Her hair floated slightly, as if underwater. Her breath was calm, but the air around her moved, slow and heavy. The ship's walls vibrated. Softly, like something was pulsing inside them. Jack grabbed his scanner and walked into the room. "Alira," he said quietly. No answer. He scanned her body. The results made no sense. Energy output rising. Her power levels were higher than any alien species he'd ever recorded. But her vitals were perfect. No stress. No damage. He reached for her shoulder to wake her. But the moment his fingers touched her skin flesh, a vision hit his mind. A battlefield. Planets burning. A young girl standing alone. A tower of light rising from her body. And thousands of alien warriors falling to their knees. Then blackness. Jack gasped and pulled back. What was that? Alira's eyes opened. She was breathing fast. Her body was covered in light, like ancient runes carved into her skin. I saw something, she whispered. Jack nodded. Me too. She looked at him with fear. It's starting. Later, sitting in the control room, Jack showed her a diagram of his ship's power grid. Every system is reacting to you, he said. Even the weapons. You're not just some refugee, Alira. You're something more. Alira lowered her head. I didn't want this. Jack leaned forward. What is it? What's inside you? Alira took a deep breath. When I was born, she said slowly, the lights in the city went out. For 3 days, machines stopped. People panicked. My family said I was cursed. Jack listened, eyes focused. But my mother called it a gift, she continued. She said I carry the spark, a rare power from the ancient days, power that can change worlds. Jack frowned. Change how? Alira looked at her glowing hands. Some say destroy. Some say heal. A soft alarm beeped. Jack checked the radar. Oh no. 3 ships approaching. Fast. Armed. Bounty hunters, he muttered. They found us. He looked at Alira. Can you fight? She shook her head. I've never used the spark, not on purpose. Jack stood. Then let's hope instinct is enough. He hit the ship's shields. Lights flickered. Alira stood up, still glowing. The hunters sent a warning. Surrender the girl, or be destroyed. Jack smirked. Typical. He fired first. A chase began through Veltronia's upper atmosphere. Clouds turned to fire. The ship twisted, rolled, shot through lightning storms. Jack flew with soldier precision, but they were outnumbered. Then suddenly, one of the hunter ships exploded in a bright flash. Jack looked at Alira. Her eyes were pure white. Her hands were glowing, stretched toward the window. She had done it. By instinct, he whispered, You're not a weapon. You're a miracle. Alira collapsed. The 2 remaining hunter ships pulled back. One sent a final message. You cannot hide her. The council will find her. And the human will die with her. Jack caught Alira in his arms. Her breathing was shallow. He looked out at the stars. They're coming for her, he said quietly. But they have no idea what she really is. He turned the ship toward deep space. If they want her, they'll have to go through me. Silence. Then, boom, a missile streaked past Jack's ship, missing the left wing by only a few meters. Inside the cockpit, red lights flashed. Shields at 47%. Tracking multiple threats. Jack Carter gritted his teeth and pushed the thrusters forward. We're not dying today, he growled. Alira sat behind him, strapped into the co-pilot's chair. Her face was pale. Her hands trembled. I didn't mean to destroy that ship, she whispered. Jack didn't take his eyes off the controls. You saved us. But what if next time I can't control it? Jack finally looked at her, not angry, not scared. You will. Outside, the sky was chaos. Veltronia's upper atmosphere glowed with electric storms. Rain fell sideways. Lightning struck the clouds above. And through all of it, 3 deadly hunter ships chased them. They were black and sharp, like machines. Made of knives. Their engines were silent, their missiles fast. Each was marked with the red symbol of the Veltronian Council. They didn't want Illyra captured. They wanted her erased. Jack's ship dove into a canyon of thunderclouds. "Hold on!" he shouted. Illyra grabbed the seat, trying not to scream. Ship twisted left, then right. A hunter fired a pulse beam too close. Sparks exploded in the cabin. Shields down to 29%. Jack slammed a button on the panel, deploying decoy flares. Mini-rockets burst from the ship, creating bursts of light. 2 hunter ships turned toward the false targets. "Gotcha," Jack whispered, but one ship stayed locked onto them. In the rear control room, Illyra closed her eyes. She placed her hand on the wall. Again, soft blue light began to spread through the metal. "I don't know what I'm doing," she said softly, "but I feel the ship. I feel it breathing." Suddenly, the engine sound shifted. Smoother, faster. The AI spoke. Secondary power system activated. Ship speed increased by 16%. Jack looked back in shock. "You just boosted the engine?" he shouted. Illyra looked scared. "I didn't mean to. I just asked it." Jack smiled. "Then keep asking." But outside, the last hunter wasn't. Giving up. It fired a gravity net, a black web of energy that wrapped around Jack's ship like chains. The ship shook violently. "Warning, propulsion disabled." Jack cursed under his breath. Illyra stood, ignoring the alarms. Her body glowed again. "I can feel the net," she whispered. "It's like it's choking us." Her hands moved in the air, slow, like water. The net began to unravel, piece by piece. The black energy dissolved around the ship. Jack watched in disbelief. "You're not just a passenger. You're our weapon system." She smiled faintly. "I don't want to be a weapon. You're not. You're hope." The ship burst through the clouds, now free, and soared into the stars. The hunter ship tried to follow, but it was too slow now. The spark had changed everything. Hours later, they were far from Veltronia. Floating in deep space. The ship was quiet again. Jack made tea for both of them. "You ever hear of the planet Asterion?" he asked. Illyra shook her head. "Dead world, but full of secrets. My last mission there found ruins older than anything the Council admits exists." Illyra looked curious. "You think I'm from there?" Jack shrugged. "I think someone doesn't want you to know where you're from." She sipped her tea. "I want to remember. I feel like something's missing, inside me." Jack looked at her seriously. "Then let's go find it." But as they set a course for deep space, a hidden camera placed inside the ship blinked. Red, on a distant station, far beyond Veltronia, a hologram of Illyra appeared before a shadowy figure. "She's stronger than expected," the voice said. "And the human is loyal." Another voice replied, "Let them run. It will make the hunt more interesting." The ship floated silently in deep space, far beyond any charted system. Stars stretched across the window like endless roads. Planets glowed in the distance like sleeping giants. Jack stared at one small, broken world ahead. "Welcome to Asterion," he said. Rhea stood beside him, silent. This place felt familiar, but she had never been here. Or had she? The surface of Asterion was cracked and cold. Ruins of ancient cities lay buried beneath ash and metal. Tall stone pillars reached toward the sky, covered in glowing alien symbols. The wind whispered, "Not like Earth's wind, no." This wind spoke. Illyra stepped forward, her boots crunching on dusty ground. As her foot touched the cracked stone, the symbols lit up. One by one. Blue, then gold, then white. Jack raised his gun. "That's not normal," Illyra whispered. "I think it's reacting to me." They moved deeper into the ruins. The walls showed carvings, starships, battles, and figures with glowing hands. One of them looked exactly like Alira, same eyes, same markings. Same spark. They reached the center of the ruins, a giant chamber. Beneath the ground, a round platform stood in the middle, old, broken, but waiting. As Alira stepped onto it, the whole structure began to hum, the room filled with blue light. A voice, not male, not female, echoed around them. Identity confirmed. Sparkbearer 9, access granted. Jack's jaw dropped. 9? What happened to the first 8? Hologram appeared, a glowing map of the galaxy, then 8 bright points of light, all gone dark. Only one still glowed. Ely Ray. The last. The voice continued. You are the final key. Born from the stars, hidden by the bloodlines, hunted by fear. Illyra's hands trembled. What am I? The voice replied, you are not a weapon. You are the balance. The spark is not to destroy, but to choose. Jack looked confused. Choose what? The map changed. 2 paths appeared. One led to stars burning, empires falling, life erased. The other, stars healing, planets growing, peace spreading. The voice answered, one bearer, one decision. Power responds not to fear, but to heart. Illyra. Step back. I don't want to choose. I don't want this power. Jack stepped beside her. You didn't ask for it, but maybe. You're the only one who won't abuse it. Suddenly, alarms rang out inside the ruins. The voice changed. Warning. Foreign signal detected. Tracking device active. Jack cursed under his breath. We were followed. Above ground, ships descended fast, black and silent. The Council had found them. They ran through the ruins as explosions lit the sky. Alira clutched her head, visions flooding her mind, children screaming, stars breaking, machines rising. She fell to her knees. Jack lifted her. Come on, I've got you. As they reached the ship, Council hunters surrounded them, weapons pointed. A Council commander stepped forward, tall, cold. We don't want the human, he said. Just the girl. Jack stood in front of her. Not happening. The commander raised a hand. Then you die with her. But then, the sky cracked open. Light poured down from the heavens. Illyra floated into the air. Her eyes glowed white. The symbols from the ruins wrapped around her body like armor. And for the first time, she wasn't afraid. She whispered, I remember now. And the sky answered. The Council ships powered down. The soldiers dropped their weapons, not by choice, but by force. Everything bent around her, as if the planet itself obeyed her command. Jack stared in awe. She landed softly beside him, her voice calm. I'm not their weapon. I'm not their curse. She looked at the commander. I'm their future. The Council retreated, not because they lost, but because they now understood. They were never in control. That night, aboard the ship, Jack sat beside Alira in silence. I saw fear in their eyes, he said, but also respect. Alira nodded. They finally saw me. Jack looked at her. What now? She answered slowly, we find the others, the hidden sparks. If they still exist. Jack leaned back. Looks like we're not done running. No, she smiled softly. Now, we start chasing. The stars passed quietly outside the window, but inside the ship, Illyra could not sleep. She stood alone in the corridor, staring at her reflection in the dark glass. A girl with glowing hands, a face marked by power and pain. She whispered to herself, what happens when the people you love fear you the most? Jack stood behind her. You forgive them, or you leave them behind. Alira turned. Her voice was almost broken. She was my sister, Jack. Jack nodded. Then we go back, but careful. They returned to Veltronia, but not to the city, not to the Council's towers. They landed in the outer districts, the low sky zones where the poor and broken lived. The place where Alira had once played as a child, before power changed everything. It looked the same, but it didn't feel The same dot waiting near the old fountain stood a woman. Tall, elegant, same silver eyes as Illyra, but colder, Serena, her sister. She smiled softly. You came. Illyra walked slowly toward her. You didn't try to stop them, she said. You watched them throw me out. Serena lowered her head. I was afraid. You have no idea how dangerous you looked that night. Jack stayed back, watching. His hand never left his weapon. Illyra spoke quietly. And now? Serena looked up. Now I want to fix it. She brought them into a hidden shelter below the city. Screens covered the walls. Old books and maps of the spark bearers lay open. Tech equipment, half working. You're not the only one they hunted, Serena said. I've been hiding others. Quietly, watching, waiting. Jack raised an eyebrow. Suddenly she's a rebel now? Serena ignored him. Illyra. They fear you because you're the last piece. The strongest spark. But together we can change the system. We can make them kneel. Illyra looked down. I didn't come here to rule. Jack added, she came to stop the war. Serena smiled. And you think peace comes without blood? They rested that night in the shelter. But Jack didn't sleep. Something felt off. Too easy. Too clean. He checked the security door. Unlocked. Comes? Still active. That's when he found it. A small tracking beacon. Hidden inside the fruit bowl. He rushed to Illyra's room. She was gone. Serena stood on a landing pad above the shelter. Illyra was beside her, confused. Where are we going? Serena looked at the stars. To the council. Illyra froze. You said you were helping. Serena turned, her eyes colder than ever. I said I wanted to fix things. You are the key to that. You're giving me to them? I'm giving you a seat at the table. But only if you learn your place. Jack reached the roof just in time to see the transport ship rising. He jumped onto a nearby platform and fired a signal flare. The ship jerked. Illyra looked down and saw Jack's flare lighting the sky. Her heart told her the truth. This was not rescue. This was capture. Inside the council's chamber. Hours later, Illyra stood alone. Serena stood beside the council leader. She is ready to listen, Serena said. But Illyra's face said something else. Her eyes scanned the room. You never wanted peace, she said. You wanted control. The leader nodded. And now we will have it. Illyra closed her eyes. She remembered Jack's words. You're not a weapon. You're hope. She opened her eyes, glowing white now, and the ground beneath the council cracked. Alarms blared. Walls split. A figure burst through the smoke. Jack, with a stolen rifle and fire in his eyes. You missed me? He shouted. Illyra smiled. Took you long enough. They fought together. Not as soldier and passenger, but as partners, spark and steel. They escaped into the night sky, leaving behind a burning symbol, carved into the ground. It wasn't a threat. It was a message. You cannot cage a storm. Back on their ship. Jack wrapped Illyra's injured arm. She was your sister, he said gently. Illyra nodded. She still is. But I don't have to follow her path. Jack smiled. Good, because we've got a new one. Illyra asked, where to now? Jack looked. At the stars, wherever the truth takes us. The council thought the message was a threat, but it was a warning. Carved into the broken stone of Veltronia's high chamber was a single phrase, burned in glowing alien script. She is not alone. And for the first time in 1,000 years, the council was afraid. Across the stars, whispers spread like wildfire. The spark bearer lives. A human walks beside her. They escaped the council's grip. They are coming back. Some called her a rebel. Some called her a god. But Jack called her something else. Friend. On board the ship, floating above a neutral moon, Illyra looked at a screen full of signals. Hundreds of voices. Alien scientists. Outcasts. Ex-soldiers. Lost. Spark children who had hidden their powers. All of them reaching out. all of them ready. Jack stood beside her, tightening the straps of his old armor. You said you didn't want to fight, he said gently. Illyra nodded. I don't. She looked out the window. But now I must. The plan was simple. Expose the council, free the hidden, spark bearers. And show the galaxy that control is not peace. Only truth is. They landed on Veltronia again, not hiding this time. Illyra walked through the capital city in daylight. People stopped. They stared. No. Guards stopped her. Because now the people were listening. In the council's hall, the leaders sat high on their thrones. Waiting. But not for long. The doors opened with a sound like thunder. Illyra entered, glowing with calm. Not rage. Jack followed, carrying no weapon. They didn't need one. The crowd behind them, citizens, old soldiers, and awakened spark-bearers, were their shield now. The high speaker of the council stood. You bring war to our doorstep, he said coldly. Illyra shook her head. No, I bring the truth you tried to bury. She held out her hand. A ball of light formed, but this time, it didn't destroy. It healed. The cracks in the floor beneath her vanished. The broken glass reformed. The walls began to glow with long-forgotten light. Whispers spread through the council chamber. The spark wasn't just power. It was memory. It was balance. Then the speaker snapped. Seize them. Soldiers rushed forward. Jack stepped between them and Illyra, just like always, but before a single weapon could fire, everything stopped. Illyra's eyes lit up. Not with flame. With peace. I will not kill for peace, she said, but I will not run from it again. And then one by one, the soldiers lowered their weapons and stepped back. They made their choice. And it wasn't fear. It was hope. The high speaker tried to escape, but a door closed in his path, and standing there was a small child. Spark-child. One of the hidden ones. She looked up and simply said, no more. That was the end of the council's rule. No war. No fire. Just a simple truth finally spoken in public. Days later, Illyra sat on the rooftop of the tallest tower, the same one where she had once looked down in silence, hungry and alone. She looked down at a city that was changing. Jack sat beside her. You changed everything, he said. Illyra smiled. No, we did. Jack looked at the stars. Where do we go now? Illyra looked thoughtful. There are more spark-bearers, lost, afraid, hiding on distant worlds. She stood. Let's go find them. And so the girl who was thrown out, the man who picked her up from the streets, and a galaxy finally ready to wake up, began something new. Not a war. Not an empire, but a legacy.